Hey, what's up guys? Brock back with a new video review. It's been one solid month, and with issues with no power and whatnot, let's just end it there and just continue with the reviews, because I'm back, baby, and I am more than excited to be reviewing probably what I think is the definitive Bane figure. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm presenting to you DC Universe Classics Wave 16 Build-A-Figure Bane. The best Bane figure in my honest to God opinion. This guy is massive, he's awesome, and I own him. So Wave 16, for the most part, was a pretty good wave. We got the Azrael Batman, we got a Dick Grayson Robin, I think we got a Tim Drake variant, we got the Riddler, we got Jonah Hex, I think his name was Mercury, and I do believe I'm missing another name in there, post below. But with all the assembled parts, you get Bane, which is, like I said, this is the definitive figure. When it comes to Bane figures, only two figures come to mind. This guy and the Arkham Asylum Bane from DC Direct. Now, given we did get a Nightfall version of Bane from DC Direct, but I didn't like the shape of the mask. And even though that was more designed for the artwork of the comic book, I prefer the green Venom tube as opposed to the metal one that he had in Nightfall and the figure itself that had it. I just feel it's more, it shows that, I guess it just shows more that he's using Venom, because the Venom fluid for the most part is green. I mean, it's also depicted as a red fluid, but I like it as green. And green and black, I think, have always looked good together. It's just a nice mix, It stands out, and, it's just cool. But let's have a closer look at this guy. You will notice right away that he's a very tall figure, because Build-A-Figures are, of the larger scale. Because they are. But one of the things you will notice is how incredibly detailed and well sculpted this guy is. We'll start with the head. If you look closely, you can see like the indentations of his eyes. You can see like his eyes squinting beneath the mask there. I like how they sculpted, how you can see like where he's looking through. That's pretty cool. Instead of just making it one solid red paint, they actually sculpted, how the material of the eyes, kind of stretches and folds with his, his face expression underneath it. Another thing I like is the detail on the zipper on the mask there. You can even look on the back. You see all the plugs that go into the back of his head there, the green Venom tubes and such. They did a nice paint wash with his chest. They have some nice shading going on here in between his pecs, even on his shoulder, going down. They detailed all the muscle. You see the veins, which is pretty cool. I like how all the veins are, you don't really see any veins popping out on his neck or on his chest. It's all on his arms, because it's where all the juice of the venom is going to first before the rest of his body is pumped up, which I think is really cool. Which is another thing what I like about this figure is his tank top, his shirt, is a soft plastic. It's not sculpted, and it's not, any really hard plastic where it hinders movement, so you can actually, turn them, bend them at the ab, but we'll get to that after. The belt itself, it's made from a somewhat soft plastic. It's definitely harder than the shirt here, but it's also pretty soft, and that doesn't hinder movement in the waist either, which is pretty cool. The pants are pretty straightforward. But the boots I really like. They have a nice glossy black paint finish to them, making them look like real boots, which I think is pretty cool. Even sculpted the individual laces going all the way down. I thought that was a really nice touch to there. But yeah, and for the most part, this is one of the most detailed Bane figures we've been getting. This is almost this is just about DC Direct quality in my eyes, and this is freaking Mattel, man. For articulation, his head can fully rotate. It can go up and down. You get some. You can have him looking down, like looking down at Batman, which is pretty cool. It can fully rotate. It does get hindered by his green Venom tube, but that just kind of unplugs from the back. And this is also very soft plastic, so you really don't have to worry about this breaking by rotating his arm, because it will just pop out of here. It isn't sculpted in, so you don't really have to worry about breaking it. But I don't suggest you really do that too much, just for, special, just take some special precautions, just in case, you don't want to be, too sure. And that just plugs right back in. He does have that upper ab crunch, just like most DCUC figures. He rotates at the waist. Arms are on a ball joint, like I said. This will pop out, but don't try not to rotate it all the way around while you have it in here. But yeah, he does rotate all the way around. It's on a ball joint. He rotates at the upper bicep. He bends at the elbow. He's got rotation in the wrist. Ab crunch, waist. Legs can go forward and back. They can go in and out. He rotates at the thigh. He does bend at the knee. He rotates at the foot, or at the ankle. And this boot's a little loose. I want to give a big shout out to Ryan, who picked this guy up for me. This was my Christmas present from him. And I couldn't be any happier, man. Ryan, thank you. I should have shouted out to you at the beginning of the episode, but I know you'll be watching it all the way through to this point where you will see that I am thanking you. But I'm not complaining about this. Do not worry. I'm not complaining about this, because I've been dying to have this figure in my hands for years now. So he does also pivot at the foot. So you do get a lot of articulation from this Bane. I will say right now, this is probably the most articulated Bane figure that we've gotten. And I don't think you're going to find one better than this guy. You can see how considerably bigger this sumbitch is compared to the rest of these guys. I mean, holy crap. This really is a definitive Bane. He towers over the DC Superheroes Bane, which is this guy right here, which for a while was my favorite Bane figure before this guy came around. This guy was my favorite before I even owned him. And I considered it the definitive Bane figure before I even, had him in my possession. But there we have him. We got the Dark Knight Rises Movie Masters Bane, and we got the variant of this guy. And then we got the Justice League Unlimited Bane, which is a cool design, but you can never beat the original. But you can see, we'll get these guys out of the way. You can see how much bigger this guy is compared to this guy. You wouldn't even think this is Bane. You wouldn't even think this was Bane. But what I'm going to compare him to, we're going to straighten out his arms a little bit here. Fix his legs up a little bit. And then we'll get him next to this guy. And it's really a night and day comparison, man. You got the more Silver Mask. They're both very similar looking figures. It's just this guy lacks the sculpt, where as you can see, the pre-pose in the legs. But don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I still really like this figure. This is a great figure. This is one of the best Bane figures in my opinion. I would take this over the DC Direct one as well, from Nightfall. Yeah, these three, and then I would have gotten the Arkham Asylum Bane, but that guy takes up a lot of room, and he's kind of displayed on my shelf. You guys know what he looks like. At the end of the review, I'll have those two as well. I'll compare those two. But as you can see here, night and day. Holy crap, this guy's tall. And here I have, guys, in my eyes, the two best Bane figures you can possibly get. The DC Direct Arkham Asylum Bane and the DC Universe Classics Wave 16 Build-A-Figure Bane. Both awesome. You can see that even he's taller than him. If this wasn't, Bane, if this Bane wasn't crouched and was standing, he'd be towering over this Bane. But as you can see, still pretty decent scale with each other, even though none of that makes sense at all. But two great figures. Highly recommend both of them. I highly recommend this guy. if you're looking for the best Bane figure, look no further. This is the guy you want to get right here. You have the option of getting the entire Wave 16. It's actually a really good wave, like I said. It does have some great figures, and it's worth picking up for him as well. Or you could buy a pre-assembled figure, which is going to be maybe in the hundreds. I don't know. Ryan, I hope you didn't pay too much for this son of a bitch. I will kick your ass. But yeah, he is a pretty rare figure. He's kind of pricey. I was originally going to end up buying the entire Wave 16 just to have some good figures and then get this guy. But you can also find the individual pieces online as well, which don't sell for too much. You may actually be paying less if you try to assemble this guy piece by piece, which in that case, go right ahead. But you definitely don't want to miss out on this figure. This is definitely the best Bane figure ever. This is a 5 out of 5, without a doubt, no questions asked. Definitely highly recommend him if you don't have him. Essential for any Batman or DC Universe collector. You gotta have at least one Bane. If you're gonna have one Bane in your collection, this is the one. I want to thank you guys for taking a look at this figure with me. Please be sure to rate or comment and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. More videos on the way. And until next time, Brock will catch you guys later. Peace out. Love you all. Later.